All right, I'm going to review the Micro-Start Sport, whatever you want to call it. It jumps motorcycles and cars and all kinds of stuff. I used to put 100 miles on this bike every week, but because of the, whatever you want to call this, lockdown, whatever you call it, I haven't been putting as many miles on the bike. And so I've been a little worried about this battery. This is actually a 10-year-old battery, believe it or not. It still works, but it has had some trouble starting. So I bought this tool, which is a jump starter. It actually jump starts, small trucks. Like we're gonna try to jump start my brother's V6 truck, see if that works. But it'll easily jump start a Ninja 250. And I was able to help somebody who had a 2009 Dyna Harley. I was actually able to jumpstart a V-twin. Some people say that these smaller versions, this is the smallest version that they sell, I believe. They say that it won't jumpstart a V-twin, but we actually we proved that wrong because we found somebody who needed their Harley jump-started. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to access the battery, so you'll be able to use this tool. So we need a big Phillips to take off the side panels or side covers, whatever you want to call these. And there's 3 grommets, whatever you want to call these, stoppers, grommets. So be gentle with these. That's 1, 2, 3. Try not to break any tabs. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is going to allow us to remove the seat. So 1, 2, 3. So now we need to remove 2 hex bolts. So we're going to start with this one here. And be aware that there is a spacer there. Sometimes they stay in, sometimes they come out. And of course we have one on the other side also. And this spacer usually comes out with the bolt. All right, now what you want to do is move the seat back to release it from the hooks from the holes, and then move it up, and there we go. All right, so this is your battery cover. So we're going to have to remove that. So you want to remove this relay. I think this connects to it's the headlight relay. I'm going to take that off its tab. And then we have a Phillips screw here. I don't think that this Phillips screw is the same screw as the side covers. So don't mix this one up with the side cover screws. All right, and to make it easier to remove the cover, we want to remove these diodes. So those just come off their little tabs there, or their clamps. And then we can move up, and we have these tabs here that go through those holes. So there's your battery cover. All right, so now if you're going to jump start your bike, you just need to remove this dust boot, or not remove it, but just move it out of the way. and then you can attach your jump start battery to this battery and jump start the bike. But I want to demonstrate the power of this jump starter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disconnect this battery completely from the bike to show you how powerful this jump starter is. So you want to remove the negative terminal first. Always the negative terminal first, and you can kind of tuck that back there. And then the positive terminal. Again, you don't have to do this if you're going to jump start your bike. I'm just doing this to show you that the Micro-Start Sport battery can jump start the bike without any assistance from the actual motorcycle battery. Here's the device. Comes in a nice package here. And here is the battery itself. It's very small. It's pretty lightweight. Again, they have a lot of different sizes of these, but this is all you need for a Ninja 250. And again, this will probably start a 6-cylinder truck. It'll probably start a Harley, but you might want to get maybe one size bigger. But we have started a Harley with this. Help somebody on the side of the road. So we're going to take our cables, and you might have a slightly different version of these cables. They have different versions of these depending on, you know, where you bought this. Take this little cover off, and there's directions on here that tells you what to do for this device. You need to read those directions. So we're going to, now notice I push that button and there's 4 lights. That means it's a full charge. Don't use the battery if there's less than 3 lights. All right, so now we're going to take off this little cover here and connect the cables. All right. So now it's very important to attach the positive cable first. And I guess I have to pull that out. I can't really tuck it down there. And you want to try to keep these cables away from metal. So we're going to put the positive cable on first. Make sure we have a nice connection. And then, and by the way, you can fit this battery in this slot here. That's kind of a way to just hold that there. Hopefully it stays. And we're going to connect the negative cable. All right. So at this point, the directions say that if you see a green light, you're ready to go. We don't see a green light. So what you have to do is push this boost button, and now you see a green light. Now again, it's important to understand the motorcycle is not connected to the motorcycle battery. The only thing that's giving it charge is this jump starter battery. All right. So again, you might have a different one of these. You may not have to push a boost button if you have a different set of cables. So now we're going to try to start the bike, and again, these cables are completely away from the battery terminals. So now let's start the bike. And I'm gonna have to make sure it's in neutral, of course. I'm gonna push the boost button again. There we go. You have to do it right after pushing the boost. So now we're gonna start the bike. So again, you want to start the bike right after touching the boost button. I let it go too long, and it actually, you know, the boost only stays on for a while apparently. You want to disconnect the battery from the bike fairly soon after you start the bike. You don't want to keep it connected because it could damage the battery. Now I'm going to do this a couple more times just to show you the power of this battery. So we're going to push the boost again. going to start it one more time. All right, and I'm going to just do it one more time just to show you the power of this battery. So you don't want to do that again and again and again because it could damage the battery. But as you can see, there's plenty of power in this little tiny battery here to jumpstart a Ninja 250. The only problem is when you put this battery in this package with these cables, this does have a certain amount of volume. So just be aware, you're going to have to find some place to put this. I put this in my backpack. It seems to fit fairly well, but it's a pretty neat tool. So now we're going to, I'm going to show you how to reconnect the battery. And then we're going to try to jumpstart my brother's V6 Tacoma truck. So always disconnect the negative first and then the positive. And you want to reconnect the positive terminal first. Make sure the ignition is in the off position. You don't want to shock yourself. All right, so positive is connected. I'm going to put that dust cover on there. Now we're going to connect the negative terminal, or negative cable. All right, so the battery is reconnected. So now we're going to put the cover back on. And we can go ahead and put our diodes back on. Back on our clamps. And we have, remember, one Phillips screw. And before I put the Phillips screw on, I want to get my relay. Go ahead and put that on the tab. And we got the Phillips screw. Phillips screw is on, so double check everything, make sure you didn't pinch any wires. Everything looks right. So the battery is now reconnected and we're ready to put the seat back on. You see these hooks? These hooks go in these holes. So you want to find those holes. And then move the seat forward. All right. So now we're going to put the hex bolts back in. Now that's the side that the spacer came out on. So here's the spacer. Put that in the hole. And then we'll torque that up. All right. Now this is the side where the spacer was already in there, so I'll just leave that in there. All right. Now we're ready to put the side covers on. There's one stopper and its grommet. Make sure that this clears the seat. We have 2-stopper, 3-stopper. All right, now we're going to put our Phillips in. One stopper, clear the seat. 2-stopper, 3-stopper, and then Phillips. And so now the bike is all back together, and you can see how effective that Micro-Start tool is. And the Sport, again, that's for sport bikes. I don't really know why they call it a Sport, but this is a sport bike. It probably works for just about any sport bike you would buy. So at this point, I'm not going to charge up the battery. We're going to see if it'll jump start my brother's Tacoma truck with the juice it still has in it. I'll see it when we come back. All right, I've got my brother's Toyota Tacoma disconnected from the battery. You can see that the Micro-Start Sport, sorry that's upside down, but it's connected to the truck. So there's no power coming from the battery. All the power going to the truck is from this Micro-Start. And so I'm going to go ahead and push boost. When we push boost, the alarm might go off, so we'll see what happens. And after pushing boost, I'm going to start the truck and see what happens. All right, we're going to start the truck. So sorry about the alarm issues there, but as you can see, it started the truck twice. I didn't want to do it a third time. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. You do want to pay attention to these lights. You can look at the directions and see what that means. I'm not really sure what that means, but as you can see, this battery started the truck twice. I've seen people start these V6 trucks like 10-15 times, but again, you don't want to do that. It may damage the battery. But that demonstrates the power of this unit. We started my Ninja 250 3 times, and then we started this Tacoma V6 truck twice. And let's see what our power level is. We still have a full charge. So that's my review of this Micro-Start. Keep this in your backpack or your storage in your motorcycle, and if somebody does break down, you don't have to call a tow truck. So I'll see you on the next video.